Howdy.
Hi, everyone.
Already got
Hello.
links being dropped in the chat
Pro
by.
level modding.
We
Just
have
pro
two pro
level
level
mod.
mods in chat right now
Right.
because
I
we got
mean,
Vex and Sandy.
that's right. High quality modding. I I'm the worst mod. I really just only pocket mod. It's the only modding I do. I just delete people's comments.
Yep, even when they don't deserve it, then
It's
hide
right.
people from the channel and just cause all kinds of confusion.
It's true.
Kind of a rite of passage as a mod, though. You gotta fuck it up sometimes.
I'm an agent of chaos. So
It's all
yeah.
good.
Yeah, so give you
I
guys.
see you, Gardens, but did you drop any links? Hold on, let's see. Link dropping. No, but she is welcoming
She
people.
is welcoming people, and that's work. I'm doing
Yep,
work.
that's an important job. So I'm
Hey,
so sorry to leave you out of there. Yes, welcoming,
special thank you to Jay, the Nano Aquarium guy, for trying to help me with my damn USB dock.
but failing.
Feeling, but damn it, he gave a solid hour of trying me for
Yeah,
me. And I thank you for trying. Ugh. So give everyone a sneak peek. I did some more work on dun, 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 dun. That new tank right there. It's not ready for prime time yet.
it's looking good though. The hardscape and plants.
Getting there. The hardscape is looking good. Doesn't have a background yet. Doesn't have the light hung yet. But it is fully planted with all the plants I want to have in it. A lot of plants. It has hardscape. I'm really pleased with. I like it. It needs more fish, but Dan needs to get those fish.
I know. Come
I
on.
want more of them. I mean, I guess if I were like a real aquascaper, I would have enough in there, but I like to overstock my tanks.
Yeah, but you know what? We have like direct access to Johnny now because he's on
That's right.
the fish cord.
Johnny, if you're
So
out there,
we can pester him all we want.
make this happen for me, Johnny. Blue Axelbride Rasboras. We need them.
Yep,
We
that's
need
first
them.
priority. Kubatai as well.
Yeah.
But I can wait. I can wait on the Kubatai. I know Foxy and Peplin have Fry now at least. So
Yeah. Foxanne will probably not have the blue Axelrod Rasboras until the spring. And I don't think I can wait that long. So,
nope, we can't.
no, we can't. We can't. We need to buy fish. So speaking of fish, I have 24 Pygmy Rasboras coming in. They're gonna go in this tank behind me. Or not Pygmy Rasboras, right?
Yeah,
Pygmy Corridoras. Pygmy Corridoras, they're going behind me. So that'll be cute. I haven't had those in years.
they are
It's been a
fun,
while.
especially when they're like confident and don't want to hide all the time.
I've never had a school this big either. I bought all 24 Dan had, so I'm pretty excited
Nice.
about it. They're cuties. It's been a long time.
And did
Not
you
since I
say that
first started keeping fish.
Jess
So
was gonna give you a few to make 30 total,
yeah,
or is that for
she's got
later?
5 or 6, so she'll
Okay.
give me some. So I'll have a huge school of them in that tank. That'll be cute. Because I don't have any bottom feeders in that tank.
Huh.
I have Siamese algae eaters, but I don't have anything kind of rooting around the bottom. So that'll look really good. Yeah.
Well,
So anything else I want to talk about?
so that background you ordered for the little scape, not gonna cut it.
I accidentally ordered a background and it's like rigid white vinyl. It's no, it's not usable. And I ordered a hanging kit to hang my light, and it was missing a part, so I have to
Oh,
wait
that
for that.
infuriates the shit out of me when that happens.
Well, because it was kind of a pain in the butt to set up, and it involved like finding a video, and I hate putting shit together. I hate it.
Yeah.
I just want things to work. I want to just push one button and them to work. I don't
Yep.
want to assemble anything. I don't want to figure anything out. I'm very frustrated today. It's been a rough day. So,
Gotcha.
but hello everyone.
Well,
Brian, I was pretty excited to see Foxanne and Brian's pond. looks like I need to go out there and in the dead of the night plant it. Because
Wait, when did you see the pond? What did I
well,
miss?
Brian posted it on his channel, and it was his bass. He was feeding them, but like there was all the space for me to plant, like for me to just like plant a million things without him like even knowing. I'll just sneak in and do it. He won't
Nice.
even know. He'll just be like, "What? I can't find my fish. Where are they?"
Background solution solved.
It is. Speaking of, one moment.
Oh, fat kitty.
Smell me now.
Look at that. He was awake and nearby.
He
Or
was
was he
not
awake?
awake. He
Oh,
was
he just...
asleep on the table where I'm streaming. Are you making the shirt of the fruit?
He looks so happy and very camera ready. It's like he says no vocally. No.
He does not like that.
No.
He doesn't like it. But what can he do about it? He's a cat.
Nothing.
He's a cat.
I mean, he could exert some energy and maybe claw your face.
He's a love. He wouldn't do that. We're friends. How are things over in the P land? I mean, you've got yourself a fancy new 50-gallon tank.
Yeah, I gotta set it up. I'm gonna figure out. So I was gonna put it on the rack, but the rack I set them up for 40 breeders, and now the footprint is the same, but the height is another like 4 inches at least, and I got fat arms, so like trying to reach that. But I can take it was go on like the second to last shelf. I could take the top shelf off if I needed to, but
even
ultimately,
if you have skinny arms, that's kind of a pain in the ass.
it is a pain.
I like to be able to reach in my tanks to maintain them. I mean, otherwise you just won't do it.
Yeah, the other option, is like retiring one of the display 40s to that area, and then because like the live bear mosh pit, for example, that's kind of in a prominent display area by itself. And so I could move that, but then that's like moving a 40-gallon that I have to I can't drain all the way because there's no way I'm getting all this fish out of there.
Yeah, you would need help to move that. You want to move that alone. Yeah, this 19-gallon that I set it up on this. So this is the kitchen table, and I set it up, and I put all the hardscape in it, all the rock. It's like 70 pounds of rocks, and all the sand, and all the like 1.5 bags of substrate. And I said, like, Jake, like if I set this up, you can move this. And he's like, oh yeah, he did. He moved it for me. But I don't know. I mean,
he's a trooper.
40 breeder with a bunch of stuff in it and having to like move it high. I don't know.
Right.
That's a lot. That's a lot of weight. You don't want to hurt yourself. So it's hard to decide. I mean, because like I'll be getting this big 40 or this big 50-gallon tank too. And I don't know if I want to set up another tank. I don't like to have a lot of tanks. I could just.
It's a good looking tank.
40 breeder. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not going to get rid of it, but I might get rid of this 40 breeder and put it on this stand instead. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, don't get rid of the 40 breeder. Keep it for whenever you move to a house. You're going to want to have more tanks.
No, I don't want a lot of tanks. I want bigger tanks,
A 40 is a good size, though.
It is a good size. But, like, I'm not getting rid of this new rimless tank I have because it looks pretty sexy. Mm-hmm. This 19-gallon. And the tiny fish need a home. But, like, it wouldn't be a big deal for these guys to be in at 50. They might like it. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I wanted to highlight this comment because I am proud of it. Because this Scotty Aquati was what I made up.
It is
for Scott's Aquatics.
It's a pretty good name. Hi, Bunny.
Man, that was like last September, I think, a year ago.
It's stuck. Indeed.
So I didn't even tell you this, but I made a PowerPoint.
Oh my God, a secret PowerPoint. Before we start,
not that amazing, but it's just we're going to be talking about hardscape.
On the topic, I did want to show people. So tissue cultures, we've mentioned they're a really good value.
Yeah.
It's insane how good of a value are.
Ooh,
this is 1 cup of like AR Mini.
Yeah, these
are Tropica plants. So my fish store can order Tropica plants. I think they usually only sell 2 fish stores.
But yeah, I looked to verify, and you're right. There, you gotta get them from LFS.
I mean, look how full that is.
It's yeah, but that AR Mini. Did you open any of them yet to count the stems?
One of them. I didn't need all of them. Yeah, and I had enough to completely plant that tank. But look at how full that is. That's Liliopsis brasiliensis.
Nice.
I mean, it's such a good value. So maybe this was $10 or $12. I can't remember exactly, but it's such a better value. This is Storogrind repens. And look how full it is. I mean, there's probably like 20 little plants in there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so it's just a way better value. And for stems, they do just as well. And for boosts, I got 3 pots of boosts, and it was way more. I got a Pygmy variety, and it was way more than from from potted. And this way I know that they are not ripped out of the wild. I know that they are cultured, and I know
legal boosts.
I know that no habitats are being destroyed. So Bunny says, I've tried 3 types of tissue cultures and have killed them all. I can grow other plants. Yes, you can. Any thoughts? So getting good quality ones matters. If they're melted or distressed or slightly frozen, they're mush and gross. I got these from my fish store, and they look fantastic. They came in on the truck, and I had Jake pick them up the next day. So quality matters. Don't
get COVID and sleep for 3 weeks.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, I mean, so you do need to plant them before they look gross. I mean, all plants are gonna like CO2 better. It's just the way that goes.
Yeah, it does help.
And so if it's a plant that you're not going to be able to grow anyways without CO2, like for instance, if I were to get Areocolon, okay, I probably can't even grow that with CO2. It's not going to grow. Crypts are a little trickier from tissue culture, I would say, than other things. I've had some fail. I've had some work. Getting them properly rooted is good. So you want to make sure they're anchored in the substrate. Use your nice forceps and get them in there. I don't know, Stephen, what tips do you have?
Well, if you're not going to use, obviously CO2 does help a lot. Yeah. But if you don't have CO2, I like Zinger said, don't plant in deep tanks because, tissue cultures are tiny. So you want to make sure that they're getting a good amount of light. At the same time, if you don't have the CO2, you want to keep those tissue cultures super clean when you do your regular maintenance. A lot of water changes because they're going to sit there and they're not going to do anything for a while. They're going to decay a little bit, and that's when you're going to get them overtaken with algae if you don't have CO2.
I think that I've tried to grow crypts from tissue cultures and putting them in this mess, and they just get lost.
Yeah, because they're so little.
But if I were to have a new tank I was setting up, I could kind of keep track of them a little better.
Right.
So that would probably work better. But you also may not have tried maybe the easiest plant for you. Let us know in the comments which plants you tried, and I can maybe evaluate. But I will say that quality matters. And if your fish store can order you some, which maybe they can, you could ask. So...
Indeed.
All right.
And then answer one more question before we get into this. Fishymon was asking, am I going to enter the aquascaping contest at the Clash? Apparently I was supposed to. That was the agreement because I entered Jenna into the contest and she said, I'll do it. only if you do it. And I thought, okay, I was going to enter the next day and pay the other $10. And then I forgot. And now I think it's full. So it's just Jenna. And I
Well,
swear that was not intentional. Just me,
you
being
know,
me,
I
forgetting.
mean, Jenna's competent. She can do it.
Yeah, she can do better than me. I'm not an aquascaper. I am still learning. I've got the books and I've got the resources to consult, like people. And
Ah,
my first real attempt at like I don't know, I wouldn't call it professional level, but like to justify that rimless 50 is gonna be my like first attempt at escape.
it does just take practice, but it also takes
Mhm.
selection of hardscape. The more you have, the the easier it is. And that's why we're going to talk about hardscape.
Indeed. So yeah, wooden rocks and shit. Let's start with the rocks though.
Let's. Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of classify the rocks, and these are just my favorite. There's plenty more around, but I wanted to classify them from the ones that are essentially inert to the ones that can possibly affect your water chemistry, but that is only if your pH is low enough. Otherwise, it won't do anything. Like Sirius Stone can affect your pH, but not mine.
Yeah, and like when I lived in Iowa and I had a KH and GH of 22, I would just put limestone in the tank. I figured it can't get any higher.
Hmm.
Who cares? I would just use any rock. It did not matter. So,
So there's Dragonstone. I really like Dragonstone.
me too. I like all the little honeycombs in it because you can stick a Nubius in it, or you can stick Boos in it, or Java ferns. You just take your tweezers and wedge it in. You don't even need to glue it. I love the way it looks. I
Hmm.
love the kind of oblong shapes of it because you can get some like really nice directionality and energy in the scape of pointing to things. Yeah, that's cool. It's a good stone. I
It's
was going to
beautiful and
skate
full of
with it this
clay.
time, but yeah, I didn't see any pieces I liked. So
Yeah. Now, when you
you
first
gotta
get it,
wash it.
it's filthy. And so when I was doing my creatorscape at Aquashella, that's why I was shouting bucket, because the Dragonstone was unwashed. And, ideally, you don't just want to rinse it, you want to like pressure
Blast
wash the
it with
crap
your
out of that.
hose. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't honestly. I didn't wash my. I don't usually wash my Sirius stone, which we will show. I'm assuming later. But this stuff is very, very dusty. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't have to wash it, but your tank's gonna be cloudy.
Hmm.
So, and lava rock. Lava rock has the big advantage of lava rock is it's cheap and light.
Yeah. You can get
Cheap
that
and
from
light.
from Lowe's or any big box
Yeah,
hardware store, big bag of it.
I have seen some good scapes with it. I will say it's not my favorite for looks. It is kind of a good base rock. If you want to build height in your scapes, you don't, I mean, you could just pay money for a bunch more like Dragonstone, but if it's not going to show anyways, lava rock
Yeah.
is a good way to get height.
And you can put the lava rock inside of like media bags and stuff too, to
Mhm.
kind of keep it together.
Yeah, and it's porous, so the water will flow into it and nutrients, and so you won't get stagnant spots.
Yep. Or you
It's a
can
nice.
smash it up and put it in your hang on the back or your
You can use
canister.
it as media. Yeah,
Hmm.
you can use it as media. It's really cheap. And Dee Dee is right. The downside is it breaks down so easy and makes a mess. And that's true. It does.
How long does it take to break down? Because I've had lava rock in my 90 for like shit 2.5 years now, and doesn't seem to be like making a mess or breaking down. I mean, it's maybe it erodes a little bit, but I don't really notice.
I've had some that's kind of brittle.
Hmm.
I mean, there's lava rock from different parts of the world.
Right.
All
And
a
the
little
stuff
bit
I have is the
different.
red. This is.
Yeah. It's all a little bit different. So
I've heard people say about lava rock changing water chemistry. I've never seen that for me.
not a
I
terribly soluble stone.
what?
Um, It's not terribly soluble, I don't
I
think.
didn't think so.
And it's not composed of calcium or magnesium hydroxide. So I don't think it does very much. I've
And
never seen
then,
maple leaf rock at the store.
no, you can't. It's not very common, but it's pretty. I wanted to throw it in there
It
because I
is
like it.
pretty. It is pretty. Which, by the way, I don't know if your slides cover this, but you don't have to pay money for rocks. If you live in a place with great rocks, which honestly, like if I were Bex, I would just go look for rocks because,
Oh
like,
yeah,
there are places I'm sure where it is legal for
take your
you to take
pickaxe.
rocks, and the whole damn state is made of rock. And it looks really good. But where I'm from, the primary rock is limestone. Now, I have gone and bought rocks before from a quarry, and I just bought ones that weren't limestone, and it was very cheap. But like, if you live in the land of great rock, you could just use that.
It's a good point. I'm assuming it's legal that you can just take your pickaxe and go to somewhere and just
I
smash some
mean,
rocks off
don't
of it.
do it from the national park, but your whole state is made of rocks, so it's something to think about. Because I bet you could find rocks you love. So
See, that's yeah, what Beck said. Like that's kind of my mindset. The leave no trace, take only photos and memories.
yeah,
But
except that like these rocks had to come from somewhere else. They're all mined from China and they have to be shipped overseas, and that adds to carbon footprint, and you're uglifying China instead of Colorado. I mean, six of one, half a dozen of the other.
I see no problem with that. Uglify China.
I mean, but
But
I
yeah, the
mean,
rock does get expensive
it
whenever it's
does.
got to
I
be
mean,
imported,
it's
and
$3 a pound, then shipping for me to get it sent to me. So it's, you know, if you live in a very, Zenny says, if you live in a very hard water state anyway, like Texas with liquid rock, it don't matter, Zenny.
that's right.
Fill your tank up with limestone. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
You can't make your water any harder. When I lived in Iowa, I used some really great limestone because who cares? It did not make my water harder. My
Nope.
water was super hard.
But yeah, I would consider like harvesting mountain stone, but then again, like I don't know. I would be concerned about the laws. I'd be concerned about like a blight I'm leaving in an area.
Mm,
I'd rather just have the mining of the rocks be out of sight, out of mind.
I get that. I mean, I get that.
And okay, so there, yeah, Maple Leaf Rock, it's pretty. I like it. And now here's some. Now again, this is depending on your pH that will affect your water hardness. If you have a lower pH, then yeah, you'll get some of the calcium, magnesium carbonate out of there.
Yeah,
But these are also some of the more popular ones that get
yeah.
used in the hobby, like Sirius Stone, Mountain Stone. That,
I
of
love
course,
Sirius Stone. And I've used elephant skin stone. It's also nice, but I really love Sirius Stone. It just gives your escape so much excitement. Love, yeah, it's good stuff.
yeah, and and also the elephant skin stone. It comes in different like tones, colors, I guess. And then you can
Yeah,
get different grades of the Sirius stone. Like they have some that are more solid colors. They have some that have like a lot of white veins in it, or different color veins,
yeah. And you can
black.
mix those to good effect, I think, depending on what you're going for. I mean, you know, but the thing about Sirius Stone is it kind of has one face that's kind of smooth and one face that's kind of craggly. So there's kind of only one direction a piece can point. So like that piece points really nice to the left. But
Hmm.
if you were to turn that around, it wouldn't probably look as good on the other side because
Right.
because it
Not
wouldn't look
as
craggy.
interesting. Yeah.
Right. Whereas Dragonstone looks good on all sides, so you have more options with it. So if you're kind of going sight unseen and you just want to buy like 50 pounds of rock or something, you probably get more bang for your buck with other rock. rocks because you would have more options.
Yeah. And Dragonstone, you can damn near break with your hands.
Yeah.
You can get lots of little pieces from it.
Yeah. But I mean, I thought about going with Dragonstone for the scape, but they had pieces like that big, and I didn't want to break those, because I don't know. It's so hard to get good rocks that are big that, like, I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So Bunny says, what are the stones called that are slate chunks with quartz running through them? I have some and love it. The white veins get algae sometimes, though. So here's the deal. None of these rock names, these are all marketing terms. These are not geological terms. Like elephant skin stone is probably a kind of limestone. Sirius stone is probably kind of, I guess, granite, maybe. I'm not certain. I'm not a geologist.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But if it has quartz veins running in it, I'm guessing it's a kind of maybe marble or granite. I don't know. I am not a geologist. But if you got it from an aquarium store, it might be Sirius stone because that has veins running through it. But if you got it from a quarry, which you can totally do, I got rocks for here from my quarry, and they were way, 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 way cheaper. So,
Yep. We're probably I think I'm gonna go with Dragonstone in that 50 rimless.
I love Dragonstone
because I like it, and
yeah, I think it's really exciting to plant. Dolomite lime. So Snoochie Booch says elephant skin stone is a type of dolomite limestone, and I agree. It looks like limestone, so it will make your water harder for sure.
Yep. As long as your water isn't already super hard.
Aqua soils will make your water a little softer, so kind of neutralizes that.
Indeed.
So,
then I also like this one, but
Pagoda
again,
Stone.
it's not like super available all the time. But Pagoda Stone,
pretty cool because
I like the layers.
Make, like, deserty looking structures with that. It's really cool.
And you can get this in different shades, tones, and stuff too.
Yeah, that's cool stuff.
And I messed up the slide. That rock is not inert. So sorry. Okay. Well, that's the stones. Is there any more that you wanted to mention, Kelley?
There's petrified wood, which I think is inert.
Yeah.
That's cool looking stuff. There's something that the Green Aqua guys have been using called Amelia Stone, which to me looks like shitty looking concrete, like composite. I don't even know if it's real. Maybe it is like a sedimentary stone, but I personally doesn't like it. So Jay says, the other day I saw the rocks Chance uses. So Chance Creamer, I gotta scroll. Those Tom Barr ones, I think they are called El Jefe.
El Jefe.
Those are pretty cool. So much detail. I'll have to check that out. Always looking for new rocks. It's worth checking out your local garden centers. I have a place called Fort Wayne Rocks by me. It has some really cool rock, but it has mostly like limestone and river rock. River rock is smooth, so if you want craggy rock, it's not really a great thing. But if you want smoother rock, it's really cool. And it's so cheap. So cheap. I think it was 17 cents or no. Yeah, it was 17 cents a pound or something.
Not bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, because that place is set up for people who are landscaping big projects. So, like, they weighed my truck before and after, and I got out of there and I paid like $12. It was kind of funny. So it's worth checking because maybe you happen to have great looking rocks in your garden center. Maybe you have great looking rocks on your property. Maybe you have them in your neighborhood. Don't feel like you have to pay for rocks.
So Zinger wanted to know which rocks are the sharp ones. Be careful of cutting yourself. I mean, I guess you break one the wrong way, they're all pretty damn sharp if you're not careful.
Yeah, Sirius Stone's a little sharp. Not too bad. Yeah, I mean, you should use caution. If you're busting rocks, you probably should put on safety glasses. I mean,
Or close your eyes really tight.
or turn your head. But I mean, you probably should. You could damage your eyesight. But you know, I mean,
Yeah.
Amelia Stone can be a little sharp. It can be.
I'll tell you what else can
know.
be a little dangerous is whatever that glitter shit we had to work with at Aquashella. I mean, there's like flecks of metal in there, and
Yeah.
they embedded in my skin.
So maybe like a
As
feldspar or something. I don't know. I never took geology, so I don't really know a lot about it.
me either.
Yeah, but I actually do really like to wear gardening gloves when I pick through hardscape. I didn't have them when I was at Aqua Rock, Colorado, and it really drove me nuts.
Holy crap!
Yay!
Finally, we can trim our 90 gallons.
Finally, yeah. I was just gonna say this tank is it. I did give some plants to Jess, Metalhead Jess, this weekend, because she was here. She needed plants, so.
Nice.
But that's exciting. That's great news.
Wood.
So wood. Choya wood, which if you say cholla wood in front of Rico, he'll laugh at you. He'll laugh at you.
What about chala wood?
Chala wood. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of choya wood. I think it looks gross personally. I don't know.
I don't like it either.
But it is a good little pleco cave, I guess. I don't know. I don't like plecos either. You can like wedge little Java ferns in there, or you can wedge like little pieces of Anubias in there. So
you
it
can
is
shove
useful
some
for
Java
that.
moss inside of it and let it just kind of tuft out of the holes.
You can do that. It does break down faster than other woods, and I hate woods that break down fast because they lead to more organic waste in your tank, and that leads to more algae.
Indeed.
Yeah, I prefer to aquascape without woods for the most part. I have used some of them, but in general, I prefer rocks. I think it's easier to catch fish. Rainbows don't get injured, and rainbows are dumb. Oh, they're so dumb. And I just less algae.
Yeah.
So there's choya wood.
Yep. And then we've got Mopani. So choya wood, it does break down. The tannic acid level is not super heavy. So we were talking about how the aqua soil will change your water chemistry. Well, if you can get some wood, that will very much bring it in the opposite direction.
So woods all need to either be soaked for a certain amount of time or be weighted to sink. Choya wood is probably going to sink pretty quick, but Mopani wood could take months. I like to soak woods in my pond because it's out of sight, out of mind. If I did not have a yard and a pond, I would not be willing to commit to soaking something like that piece of Mopani wood in my house because I don't want to deal with a tub of tanniny water for months that some cat would probably like knock over. So I would find a way to glue that to rock. And how you do that is you can take any rock, one of the ones shown before, a rock from your yard, and you take either like some paper towel or like a little piece of a cotton makeup remover pad, or a cigarette filter also works, and you wedge it between the rock and the wood, and you saturate that with super glue.
Yep.
And then they'll stick. That's how the fancy aquascapers do it.
Yeah, it's magic, especially I don't know what it is. I guess it's like the fine fibers in the cigarette filter. Yep. When you saturate it with the super glue, it like turns to stone, and then you get to watch the smoke come up.
Yep. It works really, really well. And a trick to get your super glue to dry quick, get it wet. Get it wet. If you have a damp If you wet your wood first, and your rock is a little wet, that super glue will dry quick. So you can soak that. You can also boil wood, but like, how big of a pot do you have? I mean, and also like, you're
Hey,
gonna
it's
boil that
Louisiana,
thing.
crawfish pot,
Well,
yo.
that's true. See, I don't have that. I only have kind of a normal stock pot. But I don't know that I want to boil something for like 25 days. It can take a long time. That would help. It does help remove some of the tannins.
Yeah, you
Um,
gotta boil it. If you want the
yeah,
tannins gone, you gotta boil it, then dump the tea water out, fill it back up, boil
yeah.
it again.
Sechem Purigen is probably, if you're going to have a lot of wood in a tank, you're going to want to run Sechem Purigen, which will take out the tannins and give you that
Yeah,
crystal clear
Purigen's good
water.
stuff.
The cool thing about woods like that is they look great with Java ferns on them. They have lots of places to anchor Java ferns and mosses. They look cool sticking up out of tanks if that's your jam. I have rainbows, so it's not. Um, yeah, Spiderwood, my least favorite wood.
Because it breaks
Spiderwood
down. It's a
breaks
soft
down.
wood. Yeah.
I had to completely nuke escape because it just kept degrading. Could never get rid of algae, never. And that tank had like an inch of loam on the bottom of it, and I had to. It was just, I mean, this tank was barely stocked, and it had a hang-on backflow filter on it, and every single week the sponge would just be like a solid block of grossness. So Spiderwood can break down. Now,
You
I think
know
it was
what animal loves it though?
who?
Fleckos.
Well, you know what? I don't have plecos, so I don't really care. Plecos do need some wood in their diet, though, so they'll probably rasp at it, and maybe you won't get as much mulm. But plecos poop a lot, so
You get mulm poop.
you get mulm poop. So that's that. Yeah, Spiderwood looks cool and it's pretty cheap. It's azalea root. It's not from a spider tree. It's like azaleas, regular
Oh,
azaleas.
I thought it was from a spider tree.
I know, I know. A lot of this is marketing, right? So, I mean,
Well,
if you had some azaleas, old azaleas you were digging up from your yard, you could maybe even use that. When roots get old, they get woody. So it is made of wood,
yeah,
but
but it is softwood and it does break down faster.
I mean, it looks really cool. It looks like, I mean, because you can have, if you have it pointing down over your rocks, it can look like tree roots growing over rocks. I mean,
Yeah.
you can make little trees and bushes with it. But I'm done. I'm done with it. Maybe I would use a tiny bit of it in a big scape, but I would not. I will not use it again.
And do you have Purigen, Kelly, or someone? I think I have some fresh bags of
I
Purigen.
don't have any Purigen. I don't really need to run it anymore. I have
Yeah, but I'm just thinking in terms of
yeah. No,
we
we
had
should.
cloudiness issues for the scape in Dallas, and
So
that's because I forgot Purigen.
Purigen won't help cloudiness. You need an anti-flocculate or a flocculating, not anti-flocculating. You need a flocculating agent for that. So like this stuff.
Are you talking about the stuff that binds with particles? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we
So
we
that's
had
called
that, and it did
flocculant.
not work.
Yeah, they make other ones, but Purigen won't remove cloudiness from rock dust. That's not what it does. It will remove
I don't even
dissolved
know if it was
organics.
rock. If it was rock dust,
You had a lot of wood in your tank too, but you had all that sand.
yeah, there was a lot of shit in there. And we were even smart enough because a lot of people just ran those canister filters without looking inside of them, and like
Yes.
there were bags of carbon that had not been rinsed. There was a
Yeah.
phosphate pad that was like just flaking off pieces, and I took all that crap out, and we
Yeah,
still
the other thing we can do is I'll bring filter floss and we'll just shove it full of filter floss
yeah, for
because
sure.
it's only going to be running for like a day.
Yeah, filter
And
floss for sure.
Yeah, because I need filter floss anyways for aquascaping because you need it to build terraces and stuff.
Indeed.
So
So
we'll
do you like
have it.
Malaysian driftwood?
Yeah, I have used it before. You gotta be in general, I am not a big fan of wood. The very first tank I ever had, very first planted tank, I mean, not the tank I had when I was a child, the first tank I had as an adult, I found a piece of Malaysian driftwood. It was glued to a tile at my fish store on clearance, and I bought it. And that tank, I could not get rid of algae. It was always gross. And so finally, one day, I picked that piece of wood up, and it was a huge piece, and I could like press on it because it was turning to mush. And I threw that thing out, gave the tank a good cleaning, and it turned it right around. So don't cheap out and get a clearance piece of it because it might rot. If the benefit to soaking it for at least a little bit is that you can test drive it and make sure it's not like gonna rot on you. Scotty says you don't like a good hardwood.
Oh, come on.
Au contraire, I do like a good hardwood. I don't like a softwood. Ha ha ha.
Who does,
One
honestly?
thing that now, if you live along one of the Great Lakes, like Rico does, or like Eric Wyrock does,
Yeah, Rico
or
is
even if you
constantly
live along
grabbing
the
wood.
ocean, is driftwood.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already, it's hard because it's been through the water for
And
so long.
dried the hell out by the salt water, too.
Yeah, or even the freshwater. I mean, there's great driftwood along all the Great Lakes, and you can find beautiful pieces. And I mean, you have to make sure you're legally collecting it, but there are places where there is so much driftwood, and I've seen this along the Great Lakes, and I've seen it along the Pacific Ocean. You can get really cool pieces. So I know Rico is bringing wood to the clash because everyone wants Rico's wood. I mean, and he's got great looking wood in his tanks. That's a
I'm
great.
checking a bag. Like, I'm checking a suitcase that'll probably mostly empty whenever I go to the class, just so like
Yeah.
I can bring home things like wood.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome stuff. So, I mean, it's a thing to think about when, if you drive to the beach or something, make sure it's legal for you to collect it. Kyle totally wants Rico's wood. He totally does. I hope you guys can bring some back with you because I hope that you all of a sudden have all these empty suitcases because you sold all of Bex's art and you're like, well, we might as well bring back a bunch
Oh,
of
it
wood.
doesn't even matter. Bex and Kyle are driving. They've got
Right.
they
You're
got
gonna
all the space. Like,
you're
oh
gonna
yeah,
just
look, she just
stuff
said,
Bex's
"Mwahaha,
little
driving means I can
nostrils.
get anything from the clash,
Mwah.
including stuff for me, and then she can ship it to
You
me."
should totally bring back some of Rico's wood. Everyone, I mean, Kyle wants it.
Yeah, I'm supposed to bring back some for Brookley because Brookley wants to do like a Fish Fam scape where she's got like a piece of hardscape or
Oh,
something from different members of Fish Fam.
I love that idea. And driftwood is beautiful. He has great looking wood in his tanks. So
She's gonna be mad at me. I'm gonna bring home the wrong piece of wood. Like, no, I
yeah.
don't want that one.
But it is worth looking when you go out in nature to collect things, but make sure you're doing it legally and responsibly. And if you take wood from the outside, I'm not saying you need to clean it with like bleach or peroxide, but you need to at least blast the shit out of it with a hose.
Oh yeah.
Like you've got to clean it because I don't want you to introduce. If it's completely bone dry, I wouldn't worry about
I still would. I'm paranoid though.
it. I'm not. Because the stuff that they sell you, they don't clean either. Manzanita. This is a wood I do really like. I like
Because it's the
Manzanita wood.
hardest wood on the list.
Very hard. And I think it's very attractive.
And the tannins are negligible. Like it takes a long time to leach tannins, and if you're doing water changes in a planted tank like you're supposed to be doing, then you probably will never even notice it.
It does take a while to soak this too, and that speaks to how hard it is. I mean,
Oh yeah, water logging it can
yeah.
be a bitch and a half.
I mean, I just threw it in my pond and forgot about it for 2 months, and it was soaked. So under 2 months for big pieces, but I really like it. I don't know that you can just take this out of California. Like Tom Bar has a permit of some kind. So whatever you do it legally. But I know that they do need to clear a lot of Manzanita wood away because it's a fire hazard in California. This is brush that has to be cleared so the forests don't burn down. So I don't think it's really a problem to collect it. But make sure whatever you do it legally. I do love Manzanita wood, though.
I really like it. It makes for a nice, detailed looking scape. And I like that our aquashell scape was entirely Manzanita wood.
Yeah, and you can use it either pointing up or even pointing down sometimes, depending on the piece. You can make it look like roots trailing down, or you can make it into little trees. I think it's the nicest wood. And I'm not a big wood fan, so.
No. Well, so I noticed Bex is dropping links to Fish Fam Christmas. So I just want to make sure to mention that if you go to fishfam.link/fishfamchristmas2022.
Make sure you sign up. So I even signed up. I'm not going to stream on my channel, but I'm going to do a giveaway on this stream. This part is for my giveaway. We're not good. I won't announce when it is, but it's incentive.
It's going to be on a Monday, probably.
I mean, it will be on a Monday, and it won't be like when I'm at my sister's house, like with the kids, but it'll be during this stream sometime.
Yeah.
So, gotta watch.
Okie dokie. Oh, and since I said like wood and rocks and shit, here's some shit.
Yeah, but that's not my jam. Well, the beer bottle one is really gross. I mean, if you're a kid and you really want a pineapple under the sea, more power to you. But if you want a bunch of beer bottles, like gross. Just
what about
gross.
jelly bean rocks?
Quit being gross. I don't know if you're like an 8-year-old girl and that makes you happy. I'm not gonna tell you no, but you're just a gross person if you want a bunch of beer bottles. That's just that. I guess I'm not a huge wood fan. I'm just not. I prefer rocks.
Thank you, Austin.
Thank you.
I feel like I missed a super chat earlier, and it just occurred to me. Nano Aquarium guy, thank you, Jay. The catnip fund.
Thank you, Jay, and thank you for your help. I appreciate it. Oh, Bunny thought I meant giveaway now. No. Santa's not coming till later.
Nah, Christmas time.
No.
Would a beer bottle tank be good for Shelleys?
I don't know. I've never kept Shelleys.
Listen, depending on where you live, this beer bottle tank could be a natural ecosystem. If you live in a place where people just litter.
That makes me
a
sad.
lot. Yeah.
Jimmy says people can do what they want. That's true. But I can also judge whoever I want. And that is gross.
Yeah, we can talk about people and we can shame them a little bit if we want to.
That's right. I mean, of course you can do whatever you want, but your tank will, I can still think your tank looks gross. But if you're an 8-year-old girl and you want a pineapple under the sea with jelly bean gravel, more power.
Like Lillian's tank, it's got some of those like fake jewels in there, and she has like a little fake amethyst thing, and what else? I think she's got like a clear plasticky looking stone. So Austin wants to know what your favorite type of rock is.
I think it's either Serious Stone or Dragonstone. I like both of those. I think it's Serious Stone, though, because I like to build terraces. So that's pretty fun. But both of those are pretty great. Austin and the next stream's got something big to show and tell about. Well, I wonder if it's like physically big, like a Maboop puffer. Ooh. That would be exciting. Yep. I'll live vicariously through other Maboop puffer owners, but I don't see myself getting one of those anytime soon. That is the end of the presentation. That was a good presentation. Here's dog.
Thank you. I felt slightly ambitious about half hour before we jumped on here. Like, I
I'm
should
proud of
take
you.
pictures.
I mean, I thought I should probably get some rock and wood to show people, but I was trying to get that dock to work, and Jay was he was trying hard. We couldn't get it to work.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll get it figured out, or you'll
Or I'll
send it
just
back and get something else. I don't know.
I know something will happen. I mean, I'm not going to keep it if it's a $300 brick.
Right.
It's got to work.
So we got about 9 minutes. If there's other questions, doesn't have to be about hardscape.
Could be about anything. Yeah. Let's scroll back. Did I miss anything?
Don't know. Whip want to know why the beer bottle tank was gross.
I don't know. Just a bunch of beer bottles are gross.
It just reminds me of like the side of the road in a ditch, like off the highway, you know, like people just throwing their crap. I used to have sort of a beer bottle collection for a very brief amount of time in college.
It is a college boy thing to do.
It is.
But you know what? You grew up.
I grew out of it.
You did. And you know what? Jenna doesn't want a beer bottle tank in her house. And I get that. I mean, if she doesn't want Pagoda Stone and Stellatus octopus, she sure as shit doesn't want that.
No, I don't. I mean, I guess she couldn't really stop me, but she would definitely frown upon it heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never do something like that. So Austin was asking if I could get any puffer, which would it be? Well, if someone else was like taking care of the food bill for me and like the maintenance in terms of like if the teeth get too big, a good puffer would be freaking awesome.
Those are pretty cool.
I would be terrified of all of the things that could go wrong and me being completely incapable of dealing with it. So
it's like having a dog, but I can take my dog to the vet when she's sick.
Yeah, the obvious answer, and one that I will certainly be getting in the near future, would be the Shouted Deny Puffer, because it's small and it's adorable, and you don't have to get like a shoal of them.
Those are cute. I've never had a puffer. Never had any kind of puffer. It's just a fish I've never had. Mostly because tank mates are kind of an issue.
Yeah, I mean the Shouted Deny, like at my LFS, they had like 3 of them in a 125, and that 125 was stocked with cardinal tetras, rummy nose tetras, angelfish, discus, dojo loaches, like all kinds of stuff.
I don't think I would ever get a Shouted Deny puffer. I mean, for the expense and bioload, I'd rather just get more rainbows. It's kind of.
I'm diversifying. Yeah. I got a lot of tanks. I can't just have them all be rainbow tanks.
I mean, I have a non-rainbow tank, but it's pretty small. So for my bigger tanks, I just want more rainbows. So
let's see. Was there a? Oh yeah. I'm curious how you would handle your Vallisneria. I pull it out. I cut it from the top. If I let it go, it will just take over. Yeah, you gotta trim it. The Italian val. Bex already said that the Italian val will die back if you trim the leaves. I have giant val, the Val gigantea. The shit gets like 7 feet tall if you let it, but I just trim it and it's fine. Just cut it with a nice sharp pair of scissors so it doesn't look all raggedy at the end of it, because that end of it will kind of like fray and decay a little bit. But once it's established, it grows fast anyway.
Yeah, I don't really ever have val. I prefer Cryptocorin spiralis. As you can see, it still gets out of control, but it's slower. It's slower. And if I had trimmed this tank at all, it's been months. It would be much more under control for the runners. Val, it's just too fast with CO2. So I don't really grow val ever. I have grown val. I usually would just rip it up from the base.
Yeah, with CO2, Val gets super happy when you give
Yeah, it
it
does.
CO2 because it's not really even used.
Mhm.
It's not. It doesn't grow immersed, so it's not really used to that level of CO2 in the wild.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, there are some places that have higher CO2. Like, if you ever go by a spring,
Yeah, that
Val
makes
can get
sense.
real thick there because
But also, the Val grows native in Louisiana in stagnant water too. Like it's just
it
yeah.
grows all over the United States.
Uh-huh.
I've seen it by springs in Wisconsin though, and it's real thick. Um, I just if you have harder water, Val can metabolize carbonate hardness as CO2. It has a pathway for that, which other plants don't.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, this is what I have been told by a couple different sources. I
That
don't
makes
know
sense as a
anything more than that.
fully
Yeah,
aquatic plant.
and that is why it does better in hard water. Like I've heard people from Seattle say, like, I don't know, Val's really touchy. Sometimes it works. So I'm like, oh, this is the one plant that like you can grow if you have KH of 22.
Nice.
Val is much easier. It was always just too much for me to control.
Mm.
So I've always lived places with at least a little bit, some water hardness, sometimes even more. I just rip it
Right.
up from the base, get those runners out of there. So, yeah.
You ever seen Val in salt water? Richard is asking.
Apparently, it does not last long term. If you want something grassy in saltwater, there are sea grasses. When I was in the Bahamas, I snorkeled in the seagrass beds there and watched the sea turtles grazing on the grasses. It's called the Sargasso Sea, which is a huge seagrass bed that's like the size of like certain states in the United States. I'm not sure where you get them because I don't really know a lot about saltwater,
Yeah.
where to purchase things. I know that some of my rainbow fish friends who breed
Eelgrass.
eelgrass, yeah, that's a seagrass. But I know some of my rainbow fish friends who breed Cyanodorsalis, they keep that in there with them, and it does well.
Mm.
But Vals, I've heard they will not last long term in brackish water. But I have never kept a brackish tank.
Me either. So, Zinger, I sent her some plants, including Ludwigia ovalis. She just got it today.
That's
I
cool.
don't have experience with goldfish other than me tank sitting for a month, and I didn't put any Ludwigia in there. Do you think goldfish would mess with it?
Um, they tend to go more for the finer leaved ones, but that's kind of a tender plant. I've heard it's very dependent on the personality of the fish. Sometimes if you have really lazy goldfish, like the big chubby ranchus and stuff, maybe they won't go for any plants at all. But then like common goldfish or comets or whatever, like the kinds I have, they'll go for anything. And they're zippy.
Gotcha.
So it just depends. But since it's a stem plant, you could try a piece of it, see how it goes. Keep the rest of it in another tank. And I do know I've seen amazing planted goldfish tanks on the internet.
I guess you keep them really well fed all the time. They might.
Yeah, I do think though it's better to go for crunchier plants like Java ferns and
Mm,
Nubius. Those are pretty tough and not as appetizing. Ludwigia ovalis is still pretty tender.
mm. And so Dee Dee was saying she was having trouble with Val, and she could have been planting it way too deep, which it can be a problem if that
Yeah.
crown gets like super buried by gravel or soil. It
Yeah,
can.
especially if you have like sand as your
Mhm.
substrate. If you have like aqua soil or gravel, it has air spaces, so that's less of an issue. So that's kind of a downside of using sand. You got to watch how that you don't bury your crowns.
And Dee Dee Brookley's around. Her dog Thor isn't doing well, and so
Yeah,
she's like currently dealing with him, and she might be taking him to an internal medicine vet today.
yeah.
So
Poor dog. He's not that old of a dog.
no, which is why I'm hoping that he'll pull through it. And he just Like she's sending me videos of like him coughing and breathing issues, and I just feel so terrible for her. Like,
Because
and the dog.
you know Thor.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good dog.
Yeah, he is a good dog.
That's so sad.
Well, it's 5:01, so let's send everybody over to Austin,
Yeah.
Fantastic Freaks, and let's see what his new big announcement is.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, mods. We have the best mods. You guys are amazing. Thank you, super chatters. Thank you for everyone had questions. Thank you, lurkers. Thank you, people on the replay crew.
Indeed. Thank you, everybody. Okay.
See you
later.
next week. Bye.